Namaste. Welcome to your yoga practice, your sadhana, your spiritual journey. Before we begin, please sit in Virasana, sitting on place. You can place a block between your ankles so that we begin already here, opening the front of the body. Today we're going to be focusing on the arm lines, the tissues that go from the center of the body, from the center of the chest and ribs out into the palms of the hands, as well as a deeper line that goes from the chest into the inner shoulder and towards the thumb. That is what we call the front arm lines. And we also have mirroring lines in the back of the body that go from the middle upper back under the shoulder blades out to the back of the hands, and on more of the elbow side of the arm out into the baby finger, which we call the back arm lines. Now, I think for most of us, where we tend to get really tight is in the front of the arms, the front in the chest, the front of the shoulders. Now, many people will feel that as being like a pinch in the back when they're working at their desks. Between the shoulder blades, they'll tend to feel a pinching or kind of like a spasm. And the tendency in that case is to want to stretch the back of the arms. Now, or the upper back, like you feel a pinch and then you stretch away from the back to kind of like release the pinch. What I'd like to introduce today is kind of the reverse. And why that is because the body has a mechanism that wants to bring you into balance. So whenever we're out of balance, say when you're sitting at your computer and your shoulders are kind of hunched over, or you're driving, or you're doing some work with your arms and the shoulders are pulled forward, the body will have has a mechanism that says, hey, come back. And the muscles in the upper back tense up. Now, when we feel that, we then go and we undo what the body's trying to do. And when we undo that, the body gets louder. And then that pinching in the upper back gets even more loud, and until we have some chronic pain in the upper back and shoulders. So what I'd like to introduce today is how to open up the front of the chest. Instead of stretching only the back, put more emphasis on where the actual imbalance is. The imbalance is that the front of the chest is too tight. That's why the back is contracting. And so why not open the chest, give the body what it really needs, as opposed to stretching out and undoing what the body's trying to do. One of the reasons we might want to do this is in our yoga practice is to cultivate this opening of the heart. So often we're in our work, we're withdrawn from other people, placed in front of our computers at our desks, kind of in our own bubble. And although that has its benefits, right? I know that I like quiet time and I like time where I'm alone and in my own bubble. But when we're working in this way where our posture is not helping us either, it can tend to withdraw us even more from others and also make us feel disconnected from others. And I mean, not that we literally are disconnected, but our posture actually feeds into that psychology of feeling disconnected. So when we open the chest, not only are we opening the space of the heart, we're encouraging ourselves to kind of come a little bit outside of that bubble, outside of the computer being at my desk bubble. And it encourages us to meet other people and to meet other people with with greater opening. So we're going to look at that today. So close your eyes, lengthen through your spine, And as you inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. Inflate the inner body so that you start to illuminate from within. And on that illumination, maintaining that illumination, take the front of your shoulders up and back so that your shoulders fall more underneath the ears. Soften the shoulder blades so that your shoulders are not hiked up towards the ears, but that they soften onto the inner light that you established with that inhalation. Continue breathing to renew the inner light. And as you exhale, opening the heart with this backwards movement of the shoulders and the softening of the shoulder blades on the back. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, and let's open our practice with an open heart with 3 ohms. Take a deep breath in. Release your hands, open your eyes, and let's begin in gate pose on your knees. You may want to take a blanket underneath your knees for support. And we'll do a little sequence to open the upper body and to give the shoulders some slack. One of the things I notice is helpful in opening the shoulders is opening what we call the spiral lines, the lines that connect the shoulders to the hips in a more crisscross way. It's kind of like a sash that goes from one shoulder to the other, to its opposite, from one hip to the opposite shoulder, and crosses in front of the body. So when we open those lines, we tend to get a greater, I find in my practice that I tend to get a greater opening in my shoulders. So on your knees, take your right foot out to the right, and we'll just flow with the breath. Inhale, lift your arms up. Turn your toes on a slight angle out to the side. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale, lean to your to your right. Inhale and come up. Exhale again. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and again inhale and exhale. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body, lift your lower belly in and up, and extend long, first pressing down into your feet and then lengthening up through your spine. Inhale and come up. Turn your toes forward on your right foot and bring your hands down in front of you. Move the inner thighs back as we learned a few weeks ago, making the lower back draw in and out, in and up. And soften between your shoulder blades. As you soften between your shoulder blades, feel the shoulders moving more deeply into the upper back and how that opens the center of the chest. As the heart opens, inhale here, lengthen your spine. Exhale and lift your right arm up. Inhale and bring your right arm underneath your left. Exhale and bring it up. So you're extending here up through all the way through the arm, the palm of the hand. Inhale under, exhale up. Inhale under, exhale and twist up to the sky. 2 more. Twisting away from your left hip here and hold in the twist up, hand up to the sky. Move your left hip away from your top hand. Draw your lower belly in And extend from the center of your chest up and out through the palm of your hand, and even up from your shoulder blade through the nails of your hand. Bring your hand back down and come up onto your knees. Let's change sides. Left leg out, the foot in line with your knee, your hips over your right knee. Turn your toes slightly out, about 30, 45 degrees. Inhale, open your arms. Exhale, over to the side, to the left side now. Inhale, open. Exhale, to the side. 3 more. Opening the front, back, and sides of the body. And then I think this is the last one. Stay here. Lengthen front and back. And then inhale to come up. And turn your toes forward and place your hands in front of you. Widen the back of your thighs as you move your inner thighs back. Take your sitting bones wider. Lengthen the sides of your body. And then as you exhale, opening from the heart up into your left hand, roll your shoulders back. Feel the shoulder blades latching onto the upper back. And then moving with the breath, thread your arm underneath the right. Inhale and exhale to open it back up. Inhale under, exhale up. Extending, continue moving with your breath, extending away from that opposite hip. Inhale, exhale. 1 more. And staying here, tone the abdomen and roll your shoulders back, open the heart from deep within. Reach from the center of your chest up through your left arm, and even from the left shoulder blade up through the nail beds. Inhale and bring your hand back down, rechamber the knee, and come up onto your knees. All right, let's come up to standing. So stand with your feet hip distance apart in Tadasana, mountain pose. And lengthen through the body, front, back, and sides. And feel the collarbones expanding out to the sides. Turn your palms forward. Take your hands to your shoulders with the thumbs, the 4 fingers touching the thumbs. So your 4 fingers touching, the tips of your fingers touching the tips of your thumb. Bring your hand right to the front of your shoulders, like where you feel your shoulder, the bone of your shoulders, just underneath there's like a soft part. And then take your arms, your elbows forward, squeeze your armpits in. Inhale, lengthen up through the crown of your head, and then from your upper palate, press the upper palate back as you sweep your elbows up. And as you take your elbows up, you're going to notice the shoulders roll back. Keep the upper palate nice and wide, like vast, like a dome expanding as it reaches back to the back of your head. As the shoulders move back, feel the opening of your heart. And then lift the heart more by bringing the shoulder blades, the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, in towards the base of the heart. Keep the length of your neck. Inhale here, and then exhale, lean to your left and extend through your right elbow and out through your right fingers. Bring the hand back to the front of your shoulder. Inhale, come up. Exhale the other side, leaning to the right, extend your left elbow and stretch out through the fingers. Keeping the heart open, inhale, bring the hand back. And then as you exhale, stretch both arms up. Exhale and press your palms away from you. Relax your arms. Take a wide stance for Trikonasana, triangle pose. Turn your toes to the right, aligning heel to arch. Left toes turn in so that your foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Inhale, expanding front and back, open, as if you're opening the wings of your back, but at the same time, here, take the shoulders back and turn your palms up. Slide the shoulder blades down the back to scoop up the heart, and with this opening of the heart, take a deep breath in. Maintain it as you exhale over to the right. Bring your hand down to your shin. If you can maintain the opening of the shoulders and the length of your spine, you can take your fingertips down to the floor. If not, don't compromise the opening of your heart. Lengthen the spine from deep within, and keeping the shoulders latched onto the back, open the heart by first pressing down from your pelvis into your feet, and then lengthening out through the crown of your head and through all your fingers. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, relax your arms and turn to the other side. So you're probably already starting to feel this, like the tissues are being encouraged to open. And often we think of the body as all these different parts, but really they're all interconnected. So as we're opening the muscles of the shoulders, the chest, and all these tissues that are interweaved together, we're also physically opening the heart, because the heart is also a muscle. It's a tissue that is connected to all the tissues that we're working on today. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Lengthen front and back, fill the inner body, and then keeping the upper palate nice and wide, like there's almost like a dome floating above your tongue. Move that dome back, roll your shoulders back, and turn your palms up. As you exhale, keep that connection of your shoulder blades on your back, the opening of your heart, and lean to your left. Hand to the shin. Inhale here, lengthen your spine, and then you can turn your palm so that your palm is facing in the same direction as your heart is facing. Keep the sides of your body long, shoulders engaged onto the back, remembering that remembering not only the connection that we all have, but the opening that is necessary in order to feel and experience that connection. Inhale and come back up. Exhale, release your arms, bring your feet closer together, big toes touching, a little space between your heels. Stand tall and hold your left foot, thigh stretch. Sweep your arm, your free arm up. Bend your back elbow slightly so that you can get the opening of your chest. Now, notice here as we start to open the front of the body more fully that the ribs want to move forward for most of us. So try to draw the ribs in and create a tone in the abdomen so that the back of the body isn't compromised. Change sides, big toes touching, lift your other foot, reach your arm up, bend your elbow in the back, and draw the lower ribs in. Breathe. Keep working at opening the heart, navigating through the shoulders, the tissues of the shoulders, in order to find more opening. And then release. Come to the wall. Now we're going to, again, work at that connection by softening the space between the shoulder blades. When we soften the space between the shoulder blades, we'll feel that the shoulders kind of move in. If you do this with me right now, actually reach your arms in front, separate your shoulder blades, take a deep breath in into that space. Feel like how the shoulders expand out. So we want that kind of floating action where there's space and breath in the shoulders. And then as you exhale, connect from your fingertips into your upper back. But connect by softening, by kind of releasing some of the effort that we often have when we're working. right? Arms are moving away from the body, so draw the head of the arm bones, the top of the arms back into their sockets. Try not to jam them in, right? So that's another kind of tendency that we have to do. We tend to jam it in thinking that this is good posture. It's not. We want a soft return of the shoulders. So right hand to the wall, spread your fingers, inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. And then same thing, you can push the wall away from you and then soften the heart towards the wall. Feel a softening between your shoulder blades as the right shoulder blade draws in towards the spine. Keep that. Keep the right shoulder blade back as you turn. And as you turn, you'll start to feel the opening of the chest. And turn as much as you can without losing the connection of the shoulder on the back. So the arm, we want it to connect into the back of the heart, into the shoulder blade. Expand from the center of your chest out through your thumb. It's a pretty deep stretch for the deep arm lines, for the front, the deep arm line in the front of the arm that goes out to the thumb. So it's normal for the arm to get a little bit kind of numbish. We're not going to stay here that long. And then turn back to face the wall and just feel the return of energy back into your arm. Might feel it as like a heat or a release of tension, tingling perhaps. And then let's do the other side, left hand. Inhale the sides of the body long. Inflate, and then feel where your arm meets the shoulder blade and sink into that. So let the arm kind of sink into the body, into the upper back. Maintaining that connection of the shoulder moving into the upper back, turn your feet, turn your chest to the right. Keep your toes and your chest pointing in relatively the same direction. Reinitiate the length of your side body with your inhalation and taking the head slightly back, roll your left shoulder back away from the left thumb. Shoulder away from your thumb. Now, from the center of your chest, press out into your fingers, especially the thumb and index fingers. And you'll feel kind of a radiating energy that goes right through the forearm. That's the deep lines. That's the lines that's holding your mouse, you know? Those are the mouse fingers. The mouse, what I mean the mouse is like the mouse at your desk, you know? Good, inhale and turn back around. Okay, now that those lines are open, let's connect these lines into the spiral of the body, so into the legs. You might want to watch first and then hop in halfway. So you're going to bring your right arm to the wall, and you're going to come right up onto the wall and turn your body. Your hip is on the wall, your right foot's close to the wall, and then your left foot behind. And we're going to do this and take the left arm up. Okay? So hop in. Right hip against the wall. Lengthen the sides of the body so the right arm is stretching. Move your right shoulder away from the wall. Right shoulder away from the wall with the actions that we've practiced today by rolling the shoulder back. Kick your left foot back, stand on the tippy toes on the ball mound of the foot, and draw your tailbone down. Take a breath. Kind of navigate your body to feel a little bit more like yourself here. The self that is open and where the heart is open. And then reach your left arm up. Keep the hips straight, but turn your chest more towards the wall. And then release. And just feel for a moment. And you'll usually feel, or at least for me, I feel it, I feel on my right arm and right chest, and then I feel in my left hip and my left leg. right? So there's this kind of cross sensation, this diagonal sensation going, and then my right leg and my left arm are kind of neutral. Let's do the other side. Face the wall, left arm to the wall, move your shoulder away from the wall by rolling the shoulder back and opening the heart. Turn your hips and glue your left hip to the wall. Get your left foot as close as you can to the wall and the right foot behind. Use your right hand to stabilize. Inhale, draw your lower belly in. For those of you who are more flexible and tend to move the chest forward or the ribs forward, draw in, tone the abdomen, fill the back of your waist. And then reach your right arm up. Inhale. And as you exhale, press into your left fingertips and turn your chest to the wall. The hips hold on steady. Don't twist with your hips. Extend from your pelvis down through your back leg into your foot. And then from the belly, keep drawing the belly in and open the chest up as you extend through the crown of your head, out through your arms. Inhale and release. And then now I feel the opposite. I feel the left arm and the right leg. How do you feel? What does it feel for you? Try to kind of create words for it, a sensation, but also words for it. Now, take your block, place your block between your feet, and we'll do revolve triangle pose, Parvrita Trigonasana. Left foot back, feet on separate tracks. You can have the left foot in the same line as your block. Keep your hips parallel to the front edge of your mat, and with hands to hips, inhale, and open the inner body. When we open the inner body, the shoulders naturally rise up. So we don't need to lift the shoulders up so much. See a lot of this, like if your desk is higher than it should be, or if your keyboard is higher than it should be, like this happens, and then we get like tension in the neck. So encourage one by getting an ergonomic station at work, but also encourage the lift of the shoulders, not from these little muscles in the neck, but rather from the breath and the inner lift of the body. And then you can slide your shoulders back and fold forward. Left hand down to the block. Now you can move the block underneath your shoulder, lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, twist without moving the hips, twist to your right. Lengthen the sides of your body. Now, keep that left hip where it is. Keep the left hip where it is and move your right shoulder forward and away. The right chest forward and away from your left hip. Reach your right arm up. So it's just like what we just did at the wall. From your pelvis, so squeeze the buttock muscle slightly, especially on that right buttock. And then ground down through your feet as you extend out through the crown of your head. Inhale and bring your hand down, hands to hips, and come up to standing. Let's change sides. Block inside the foot. Feet hip distance apart. Okay, so if your block is more out to the side, don't take your right foot to the side. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart, not wider than your hips. Lengthen your spine and fold forward. Hand to the block. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Keeping the hips steady. Exhale and twist to your left. Breathe length into your spine. Move the inner thighs back to widen your sitting bones. And keeping the engagement of your legs, press down from your pelvis into your feet. And then as you lengthen through your spine, extend your top arm. Find your breath and roll the left shoulder back. Don't push the arm beyond its point, Make sure that you're turning from from the ribs, and then opening the shoulder by moving the front of your shoulder, the front of your armpit back. Inhale, come back to center, and come up to standing and step forward. Move your block to the side. And let's take Uttanasana, clasping the hands behind. Now that the chest is open, we can roll the shoulders back and interlace your fingers behind your back. If the shoulders are still feeling tight, that's okay. It's, we've only practiced for a couple of minutes, so you might need to use a strap. You can hold the strap between your hands behind you. Miracles do happen, but they usually happen over a long period of time. So feet parallel, interlace your fingers behind your back. Shoulders, elbows, point back. And then as you exhale, fold forward and take your arms over your head. Keep the heart clear. And in this way, as we fold forward and kind of come back into our bubble, we're coming back into our bubble more complete, more connected. We are complete. It's the tasks that we do in our daily life that end up disconnecting us from our completeness, from our fullness. We sit in our cubicles and we forget that we're connected to life. Open the heart as a way of remembering your completeness, your fullness, and your connection to all of life. Inhale and come up. Exhale and stand in Tadasana for a few breaths. Try to relate this theme of opening the heart to your life situation. The opening of the heart that reminds us of our connection and of how complete we really are, how perfect we are, even in our imperfection. And then we're going to do a clasped version of bridge pose. So if you needed a strap in Uttanasana clasp, use a strap here. I'll show you how to use it. You're going to take a seat and you'll place the strap around the front of your ankles. And also, if you can clasp your hands, this might be a fun variation for you to do. You can do this as well, even if you are a bit more open in the shoulders. So lie down. Bend your elbows. We'll start here. And just take a few breaths. Let the pelvis settle. Slide the sides of your body up into the armpits and just wiggle your shoulder blades closer towards one another. And then you're going to hold the strap that's in front of your ankles. And you can feel like as you pull on the strap that it's, like the ankles are resisting. Press your feet down and then inhale, lift your chest up. Lift your hips up. Lift your belly, lift your chest, and then as you hold the strap, you can probably bring your arms a little bit more underneath. Lift your chest towards your chin and your chin away from your chest. Keep pulling on the strap to get more lift in the heart. Tone the legs. Hug them in as if you're holding a beach ball and reach your tailbone forward. You can stay here for those of you who are a little bit tighter in the front of the shoulders. And if you have a bit more flexibility in the front of the shoulders, you might want to stay here to create a bit of resistance, or interlace your fingers behind your back. Make sure if you're interlacing your fingers that your chest remains open or it gets even more open. Facilitate the breath with deep inhalations and exhalations. And as you press the back of your head into the floor from the upper palate down into the back of the head, lift the front of the chest up with the shoulder blades. Come back down and take a few breaths. We'll do this a second time. You can repeat this variation, or if you're experienced with Urdhva Dhanurasana, you can do Urdhva Dhanurasana. Reach your hands up and bend your elbows, placing your palms on the ground with your fingers facing towards the body. Spread your fingers so that you can get a nice grip of your mat, and take a deep breath in all the way from your belly to your chest. And then let the shoulder blades sink, let the arm bones sink into their sockets. Remember the exercise we did at the wall, where we let the heart melt? So here, letting the arm bones just sink into their sockets. Keep them there as you place your hands. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, just softly. And then as you inhale, lift up into bridge pose. You might stay in bridge pose, or toning the legs, pressing into your feet. Inhale, lift the hips higher, come up to the crown of your head. Readjust your hands so that your shoulders feel a bit more comfortable, and draw from your elbows into your upper back, opening the heart from that action. Keeping an open heart, tone the legs. Inhale and lift your hips even higher. Press into your hands and look towards your hands. From the focal point in the pelvis, press into your feet, and then extend from your heart down into your hands. And then release back down, chin to chest, all the way down. And let the pose dissolve. Keep the feet on the floor. Resist the urge to kind of hug in. Breathe. And then last time, third time, now you can choose your variation. You can use a strap, clasp the hands behind your back, or Urdhva Dhanurasana again. So if you're doing Urdhva Dhanurasana, if you're doing bridge pose, feel free, go ahead. If you're doing Urdhva Dhanurasana, reach your arms up to the sky. Fill the sides of your waist, sliding the shoulders up, and then let the arm bones sink down, like pebbles sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Keep them there. Place your palms on the floor. And as you inhale, lift your hips and come up to the crown of your head. Pause on the crown of your head, right near the hairline, near your forehead. Adjust your hands and plug in. Shoulders back. Shoulder blades into the upper back. And now work your legs a lot here. Engage your legs. Inhale, lift your hips up to lift your head. Lift your hips, lift your chest, look towards your hands. Breathe deeply. 3 breaths, that's 1. 2. 3. Lift your heels, chin to chest, come all the way down very, very slowly. And breathe, release. One of my students who says, Janine, I love back bends. I used to not like back bends, but then it was kind of a love-hate relationship. And then the more I practiced, the more I started to love them. And then I ended up like my student. Oh, I love back bends. It's still a love-hate relationship. Again, sometimes we want to be in our bubble. We want to be closed off, or at least we feel like we think we want to be. And then all of a sudden we open the heart and we realize that we can be in our bubble with an open heart. Closing the heart is not necessary. And life is, again, much more complete when our heart is open. Roll to your right side and come up to sitting. Keep your strap with you. And we'll do Gomukhasana. You're gonna fold your right leg and then take your left leg on top. And you want both sitting bones on the ground. Now, if this is not possible, sit up on a block. So you want to cross the legs as much as possible, knees are stacked. Sit up on a block or a blanket or combination of both. Take your strap in your right arm. So typically when the left leg is on top in Gomukhasana, cow facing pose, we have the right arm on top. So lift your right arm, bend your elbow, and then with your left arm, turn your thumb down and reach underneath. Hold the strap. If your fingers clasp, you can hold your fingers. And then from here, lengthen your spine. Keep that right armpit turning in towards the face, so the outer arm moves towards the inside of the arm. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Tone the muscles of your legs as you press your feet down. Inhale and come back up. Release. And change the cross of your legs. Right leg on top, left leg underneath. Sit with both buttocks down. One buttock will be a little lighter, but if you're crooked, your hips hiked up high, sit up on a block. Take the strap now in your left hand, reach it up, turn the tricep muscle, the muscle under the arm, from the outside of the arm towards the ear, to the inside. Bend the elbow, take your right thumb down underneath. Reach your hands towards one another, clasp the fingers. Pull the hands away from one another, or pull on the strap, and open the chest. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come up. Release the clasp of your hands. Bring the soles of your feet together now. Lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, hinge in the hips, fold forward. Hold the feet. And then let the upper back round, relaxing between your shoulder blades, letting all of that tension release out. So now that we've worked that connection of the shoulder blades, shoulders on the back, we can start to release that, trusting that the work that we've done is enough so that we can remember during our day to bring the shoulders back whenever we get drawn out of balance, or whenever our heart starts to get closed, we can remember to open it once again. Inhale and come up. Bring the knees together and lie down for Shavasana. And as you lie in Shavasana, you can just slowly bring the tips of the shoulder, the bottom tips of the shoulder blades slightly closer together. Rest on the back of the head. And take a few breaths to settle. And notice that as you settle and as you rest here, the opening, notice how the opening of the heart doesn't need to take you away from being with yourself. In fact, when we open the heart, we can connect deeper, not only to others, but we can connect deeper to ourselves. So feel the openness of the heart as you feel your connection to yourself. And rest in the completeness of who you are. Rest in your own perfection. Feel free to stay in Shavasana a little longer, or if you're ready to reemerge, deepen your breath and roll to your right side. Take a few breaths on your right side and feel position, and then come up to sitting with the palms together and your eyes closed. Palms in front of the heart, lift the heart. Noticing how the work that we've done in our practice to create this opening now gives us an easier access to the heart, to the fullness of the inner body and to the completeness of who we are. And maintaining this lift and opening of the heart with the shoulders settling back. Let's close the practice with one sound of Om so that we can continue our practice off of the mat, remembering when we're at work, when we're driving, when we're doing work with our arms, to remember to do it with an open heart so that we stay connected to the fullness of life. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for joining me today. Breathe and be well. Namaste.